being in the world, in the life that I've lived for so long, and hosting a homesteading festival, one thing that I just find more and more is there's a lot of people, wanting to take some responsibility for their food, returning to homeschooling. There's some people thinking about home birth. There's a whole movement of like, well, what if we take our health back, and maybe it's not up to, whatever the organizations are, to maybe this could be something, there's better choices that we can make on our own. But what I see again and again is this desire for community underneath of all of it. And I see it almost more than anything in Christians that I'm surrounded by, like the loneliest people. They're loneliest people. There's a goodness there, and there's a certain amount of joy because God is in their life, but they actually want people in their lives. They want something greater. And so the part that has drawn me slowly, beautifully to the church and to the community is the fruit and the unusual fruits that I see everywhere, and the manifestation of those just about everywhere I look. I mean, the amount of love that I experience, and it's not just on the surface. I was at the wood shop yesterday, and I met Vendel. I've never met Vendel from Hungary before. I love this guy. I mean, he's an older man, and Mark Borman was teaching me a woodworking class, and he said, "Brother Mark, I just want you to know I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it." And that might sound funny and sweet, but that's really what I've experienced everywhere. There's an amount of love that manifests itself in being there for each other, caring about each other, putting other people first, making time. It's extraordinary. I mean, love is the first fruit. It's the big fruit.
Yes.
Trying to convey the essence of what is happening here, which to me is coming from a homesteading, life, music that led me to, there is no there, money, fame, fortune. There's no there for me. And I think it doesn't matter what your business is or where you're heading down that road. It doesn't take too long to realize success and these kind of things that the world says are going to bring you happiness. Most people will find out they don't, not really. But that led me to, on a farm, finding my way to seeking a more sustainable life, which meant sustainable food and gardens and raising animals and things like that, homesteading. But this was a level totally different. This is more of a sustainable life. When I first came and visited, let's say in 2018, I remember I was over in Brian's house, and a number of folks come over, and first thing that happened, this is unusual for me, because I'm in the music industry. I mean, I was always writing songs and playing music, but then I was in somebody's house, and everybody shows up in the evening time, and no one has televisions, so they do other things. They play games together. They sit and visit together until late in the evening. They play music for fun, all ages. And so I was sitting there, and Regina and Josiah and tons of people come over. They're all singing, and I didn't know what to do with it. They're just having fun singing, and then back behind them is like a 12, 13-year-old. He's trying to figure out how to play. And I stopped and I said, "Do you do this for fun?" And they were like, "Well, of course we do. I make a living out of it. I don't do it for fun. It's fun, but it's not a part of my life.
Yeah.
I don't sit around with my family and extended family and friends and play music. And that's a fault of my own. But I think that's, again, one of the fruits. When you turn off the television and you turn on neighborliness and being together. I mean, we live on a farm, so Rebecca and I are like in bed by 9 o'clock every night. And when we're ever with you guys are in Montana, we're just about to get up and head to the bed, and all of a sudden the door opens, and here comes 10 people, and there's grandma and the kids, and there's 30 people at 10 o'clock are going to start playing games because they've all worked all day, and now they want to be together and laugh, and we're going to make nachos at midnight. And it's so wholesome and filled with life. And again, it's just compared to what I'm used to is we have a television on every wall. So I'll go to my spot, you go to your spot, and somebody else is here, from the children to the adults. And these are all like really unique things, but thing that also happened then, they said, our love stories tend to be different. It's like, well, I'm part of a love story that's a little bit different. At the time, I remember sharing that, and they knew that somewhat. And I said, well, how is it different? I said, well, we don't date. And so they started telling me, couple by couple, all of their stories. And just the other night, Rebecca and I and Indy were sitting with Zane and Hannah, and we were having breakfast, and they started sharing their story. And he cried, and I cried. And it's like something out of some crazy dream movie, because they don't really want to try each other out. They don't want to ruin it. They want it to be of God in the same way.
Yeah.
They want God to put on their heart who the person is.
Yeah.
And it needs to be confirmed. There's this whole little process to it all. But in the end, what ends up happening is when you get married, it means so much to you. You've seen it in your parents.
Yeah.
You've seen it in everybody else around you. Yeah. And so the fruit of it is so extraordinary. Yeah. And in the culture I come from, it's like, well, sure hope this works out. I like you a lot right now. I hope it stays.
Yeah.
But it's not that way. So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
The way that love begins and the way that love carries on.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody has home births here.
Mm-hmm.
We had a home birth with Indiana, but when we knew a few other people, but that's not normal in the culture. That's
right.
a different fruit that you have.
Right.
But again, it feels like you've been thoughtful to say, what's the best right thing for our families? Not the easiest thing,
right?
Not the cheapest thing.
No.
Not because it's a lot easier to say, guess what? On April 14th at 2 p.m., we're having our boy. I've got it set up.
Yeah.
And if you want to come around 3, I'll meet you in the waiting room.
Yeah.
That's a lot easier, and there's less pain and all that. But just like us, you realize there is a joy, and I mean, there's a million reasons for it, but this isn't just a couple of families.
No.
This is hundreds and hundreds of families who've realized this is a better way. And so you have this, again, the fruit of that is unusual, because it's not just like there's not a nursing home taking care
right.
of the elderly. For the most part, you also take care of all the mothers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Your sister, everybody, like their job is, we're going to have a baby. We'll walk you through all of this stuff, and you do it together, as if it could be something that a community takes care of. This is strange talk we're speaking about, but it works really, really well. And then when you get past that, there's home education, and that's become more popular. But here, it's not a matter of we just don't want to send them to public school, or there are no good schools nearby. It's that we want the best for our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's our responsibility. Yeah. If they're a handful, it's our fault.
Yes.
If they have joy and life, that's going to come from us. Right?
Yes. I think that our journey has been guided by the assessment that much of the brokenness in the culture has come from people being robbed of the difficulty and blessing of real living.
Yeah.
They've outsourced so many things to experts, to the professionals, that they've ended up with meaninglessness.
That's right.
And when you were talking about getting together at 10 o'clock at night, which is quite funny, but to hear you say it is true.
It's true.
When you talk about that, it's like, it's not abnormal for someone to click on a television at 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-mm.
But that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're clicking on relationships.
Yeah.
And if you don't have these substitutes where you're watching this fake life by people you don't know, who are trying to communicate an agenda and a value system that you don't share,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
But that would be totally strange for thousands of years. Even in this country,
Yeah.
nobody even heard of television until less than 100 years ago.
That's right.
And so it's this newfangled technology and these newfangled ways of relating. They're not tested. They're not the normal thing. They're the crazy thing. We don't know what they do to relationships. And so for us, it's like saying, okay, Lord, there is a hardship in growing your own food, but there's also a blessing.
Right.
There's a hardship in birthing at home, but there's also a blessing. And there's a blessing in the givens of life. And we don't want to get to the end of our lives and say that somebody better or somebody expert did it all for us. We want to say, I built that. I grew that. I raised that. I taught that. I gave that birth. And that really starts to get to the heart of meaning. And again, that's what life is about. People want meaning. That's what joy is about. That's what partnership is about. It's about meaning. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, the greatest meaning is to love one another, to express God's love to one another. And if we find that, then we're no longer lost. We know who we are. We know why we're on this earth.
That's what I found is there's just so much meaning in everything. Now, I've been a big Wendell Berry fan for a long time, 10 years, I'd say at least 10 years. That may not seem like that long, but 10 years of serious Wendell Berry reading will really take you down some new paths. And the main thing is if you don't know his books, for people who don't know, he's just a beloved writer out of Kentucky. It has nothing to do with this community or anything. I'm not even sure what his faith is, but what he writes about is that we've been robbed of meaning and purpose because we've outsourced all of our responsibilities of every single thing. And what's really happening here, what's really, really happening is we're taking responsibility for everything.
That's it.
Rather than Netflix's job is to entertain us, or Amazon Prime, or, Sega, well, I don't know what the games are. It's our job.
Yeah.
It's our job to find entertainment that's really good, rather than it's Kroger's only, we get our food from somewhere else, or our crafts, the things that, rather than just be consumers, which is what we're all raised to be, whether we realize it or not, and this is a big Wendell Berry stuff, we actually could become producers. And that's what everyone does, which seems so weird. You learn how to spin and weave wool, and you know how to have the blacksmith shop and woodworking shop, and you can make a million things, which is what everyone has learned how to do over 30 or 40 or 50 years here, and the young people are still learning. It's not just nostalgia, it's taking responsibility for producing some of the most important things in life. And you've just looked at all the avenues of life, from birth to death, education to medicine, recreation, all of those things. And you've said, how do we participate in its fullest?
Yes.
And have Christ in the middle of all of it. What I feel like we're doing, that you're doing, and I'm new to do, is bringing our lives back home.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility and bringing fathers home, so they can be with their children.
Yeah.
Bringing mothers home so they can be with their children. Bringing education home, bringing birth home, bringing entertainment home, bring all of these things, really bringing it back home, which seems weird today, but it's never been weird before. Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. You see, the family was God's ideal unit to answer the challenges of life and turn them into grace. And when we sent all of those challenges to others, the family lost its purpose. It lost its point of contact. It lost its need to collaborate. Mm-hmm. If you were a pioneer family, you had to figure out your relationships. You had to learn respect because you weren't going to survive the winter without it. But now, family is almost artificial because of all the essential things of educating the kids, of growing the food, of putting shelter over the family. All those most essential things are done by others. We just give them money to do it. In order to get that money, we have to go away from the home to get it.
Right.
So everything takes us away from the family. And the family is kind of this shadow institution that is increasingly gutted of its purpose, of what brings it together. And so what we've acknowledged is that culture isn't good for kids. It's not good for mothers. It's not good for fathers. It's not good for family.
Good for marriage.
It's not good for any of these things. In fact, it's only good for a very select few things. And those aren't very good things. Yeah. And so we said, we're going back to the culture that puts this in the hands of the family, which means brings this home. Yeah. Brings this into the domain. It's where you are saying the peace of God is going to reign here. And we're coming together to form this unit. This is our little piece of the kingdom of God on earth. And so much of what we are doing is absolutely working against the economy that fractures us and flies us apart in centrifugal ambition. And we're turning back to the home. And we're bringing it home. We're bringing it within reach.
For me, I just feel like this is such a wonderful new expression of what the church can be. Yes. I just feel like this is the future. This is my 2 cents. I just think for the church to survive, we're going to have to do more than we've done before. Yeah. We're going to have to make it a bigger part of our lives. And so for me, I don't have any questions. Like, this is where I'm going with my family. And my only regret is that I should have gone here years ago. I would have had more help as I walked along. I'd have still made lots of mistakes. Sure. But I'd have had more help. But I think that down the road, I think this is something, one of the reasons I'm passionate about it is it feels like an answer for the church. It feels like a hope for the body of believers. Yes. And we've talked about this quite a bit, and I've talked to other folks, is this isn't the only expression. In the last, 15 years, you've gone from being this group started with your dad and a number of other folks that made its way from New York to New Jersey to Colorado, that found its way to Texas, to Austin, to Waco. But then through a series of events, you felt like, hey, we should, not in normal church plants, we should start some more communities. And there's a specific way. There's some truths and some things like in the idea of fruit and wholeness and how we get to it, but the expressions are pretty different because the people are different, the locations are different. And what I think is important for this stuff to thrive and survive, not so that this expression just grows to be the biggest thing in the world, that there could be more. Absolutely. That there could be more hope. And I think that's the amazing thing is it's easy to throw stones, but if you came and visited, you would see that. Now, that not everybody's ready for that. No. I mean, and that's the thing that I love is like, it's not for, I think it could be for everybody. I think in our in our hearts and in our souls, we are all longing for this. But it's a big jump to want to take responsibility, and not everybody's ready for it. And so the goal isn't to try and turn everybody and talk you into saying, do you understand now this is the way it needs to be? No. You have to find your way there. Exactly. And hopefully you will, because there's a better life there. Yes. But you might not. And that if you've got a better life, that's okay.
Right, of course. It's a dream and a goal. This isn't for everybody, and nobody's going to be able to do all of this at once. We certainly haven't been able to. It's going to take us generations to keep this journey going. But we are moving in the right direction, and we like the fruit that we're seeing.